Hey you guys, I wanted to cover this story I saw from Atlanta Black Star, and I am aware this is a topic that seems to be trending on almost all of the social media platforms outside of this article. However, I wanted to cover the article and also this story. And for those coming to this video and channel for the first time, I want you all to be aware that this isn't one of those gossip blog channels. I will usually cover a story that's trending and offer commentary in hopes to highlight double standards and controversial issues that adversely impact the Black community. So now that you guys have that disclaimer, let's go ahead and get into this article. So this article starts off by saying that R&B singer Ari Lennox is not accepting compliments from fans if it means insulting another artist. Over the weekend, a Twitter user was seemingly unhappy and even argued colorism after noticing Chloe Bailey's new visual for her first single as a solo artist, Have Mercy, which attracted more online views than Ari's latest single, Pressure. Visuals for both tracks premiered on YouTube on Friday, September 10th. However, the online user was correct in that by 11 a.m. Monday, Ari's song had garnered some 1,470,000 views on YouTube since its release, compared against Chloe's creation, a Corinna Evans directed video that racked up some 8.6 million views over the same time frame. Now let me just stop for a second. I am a huge fan of Ari Lennox. I admire her imagery. She has a beautiful voice, and I like the fact that she has an aura about herself. She always seems resplendent, radiant, and she has this overall vibe to her that makes it seem like she can uplift even the most downcast person. And undoubtedly, this is a conversation that we shy away from because it is one that forces us to acknowledge that preferential treatment exists within our community. And people of a lighter complexion are often given benefits that other people within the community are not immediately presented. Colorism over the years has become a touchy subject, and it's because so many people are now aware of what this concept is, which creates a unique dialogue in our interactions with society. Now, suddenly, every instance in which someone of a lighter complexion wins an award or they get a standing ovation for a performance, then these comparisons start happening in the minds of people. And I saw so many posts and comments talking about how Chloe was not deserving of this recognition, despite the fact that she has genuinely worked hard to get to where she's at right now. Make no mistake, I'm all about calling out colorism in situations where it applies. However, in this situation, I do not believe this is a circumstance that colorism applies to. Now, is it true that these different industries are complicit in this construct? Of course, I do believe it's just another one of those situations that are used to create divisiveness and chaos within the Black community, even though all Black people are capable of great talents. And in terms of these metrics that the article mentions, I find it to be interesting because YouTube, like other social media platforms, typically will recommend videos based on certain algorithms or mathematical formulas for music or videos based on your search criteria that it thinks you may want to watch or listen to. And it may also have something to do with their followings on social media. For example, when you go to their Instagram and pay attention to how many people follow them, Chloe has more followers than Ari Lennox. So naturally, the numbers will more than likely be higher in terms of viewership. And this is just speculation, in my opinion, but I just want to say this before I continue reading more of this article. It's clear that a majority of these industries have a fixation in making sure Black people are at odds with each other, and they have a deep understanding of how easy it is to get us riled up over frivolous minutia. Something that really shouldn't have been a discussion somehow manifested as an issue over views. That in itself warrants a deeper discussion about the quality of music versus quantity, and that requires a separate video. So I'll just stay on topic by reading a little bit more of this. So moving on, it says, Chloe's new video has over 5 million views, while Ari Lennox, who has the better song and more tasteful video, hasn't even hit 1 million views yet. The critic wrote in a post uploaded on the afternoon of Saturday, September the 11th. While many assumptions could be made about why Chloe's song gained more attraction than Ari's, including overall fan popularity or even connections in higher places in the music industry, vocalist D. Druns felt it had more to do with appearance. Chloe's light skin privilege is showing. Thank God she busted down. Now she has the attention she's been craving, the user continued, taking yet another jab at Chloe, who's often been bullied online for being uncomfortable with her body image. Ari quickly shut down the negative comment and has since deleted posts imploring the user to please delete this hateful think piece, she continued. It's negative and counterproductive and creating unnecessary backlash for both Black women. Chloe and her music video are legendary and on repeat over here. Pressure is doing just fine. Now, I'm not discrediting any of these people's opinions, and who knows, they may be right coming from someone who tries to search for an understanding. I don't believe one video is better than the other. I saw two Black women working exceptionally hard to put their all into a project, and the fact that this is overlooked and not celebrated is what we should actually be paying attention to. Something else we need to pay attention to is the words used in these statements. When we say better, what is better? What qualifies something as better than another person's hard work? It's just the same as asking what is normal if a routine is customary to a group of people performing day-to-day tasks with efficacy and detail only for someone from outside that community to come along and give harsh ridicule or scrutiny towards something that's been done that way for a long time. Can we blame an industry for these numbers not being balanced? Of course. Does it elicit brutal criticisms in the form of comparing another artist? No, because both of these artists put forth dedication and time to make these videos come into fruition. And what I'm trying to say is both of these women and their videos are worthy of praise and deserve love rather than condescension and derision. And some of you may even be thinking, well, what about the whole Tyrese and Terrence Howard situation? And see, the funny thing about that is Hollywood and other industries prefer dark-skinned Black men, but they don't want dark-skinned Black men to be paired alongside a dark-skinned, unambiguous Black woman, because unless it's in a story of dysfunction and peril, it will almost always result in that combination. And I have watched movies with both Terrence Howard and Tyrese in it, and Terrence Howard to me has more of a natural niche for acting. It shows in his works when I watch a movie with Terrence Howard. I don't see Terrence Howard, I actually see the character he's portraying. When I watch Tyrese on Fast and Furious or almost any other movie, with the exception of Waist Deep, he is seen as the comic relief or someone that is not meant to be taken seriously because of his character's qualities and attributes. And his acting skills would be more subpar and passing, but he's not my first choice I would turn to. And that could be a little biased, but I am certain some of you will kind of see where I'm coming from with that thought. However, getting back on topic, earlier I mentioned that more Black people are gaining a sense of awareness for what colorism is, and now that word is being thrown around more than what it should be, and caution should be exercised in those spaces because when it comes to scenarios that involve it, it'll be relegated to the boy who cried wolf if not properly assessed. And the article also makes mention of Chloe showing her body. I think people need to understand something. Chloe is 23 years old, so naturally as she gets older, she will start to take on more of a provocative image. That's usually what happens in the music industry. I remember even reading an article about Aaliyah and how they had to withhold Rock the Boat from her because they didn't want to sexualize her image too early, so they had to wait until her self-titled album before they were given permission to even let her use the song. At that time, she was 22, so you guys have to understand, as artists get older, they're not going to maintain that kid image forever. So for them to try and talk about her showing her body more is not really something we should be surprised by. And I really like that Ari backed another Black woman in this instance, and to be honest, I like Ari and Chloe's videos both equally. They are in possession of beautiful talent, and their voices command respect. She didn't fall into that trap of Black women being pitted against each other. They actually did the same thing back in the 90s when Brandy and Monica were going back and forth with each other, especially after The Boy Is Mine. And I remember that Brandy was talking about how she faced colorism and how she felt as though she wasn't beautiful enough. So it's really just more of the same. But moving on, I'm just going to go ahead and finish reading the rest of this article because there's not much left after that. Several Twitter users also pointed out that Ari's subject matter in Pressure wasn't as innocent either, with lyrics like keep me running, leave it messy, pressure, go ahead and live in it, swim up in me, oh. While others denounced the comparison and skin tone allegations, someone else said, this is not true at all. Chloe's song had so much built up anticipation. I love Ari's new song. It just unfortunately got released at an inconvenient time. Another person person commented, "Just delete it. You didn't even make a point. You were just tweeting to tweet," they added. "I bet you still think people are supposed to figure you out as opposed to you being your genuine self and being accountable for your boundaries. See how that works? Just delete it." On Sunday, Chloe appeared in her first solo performance at the 2021 MTV Video Music Awards, which was presented by her sister and one half of the singing duo, Chloe x Halle. An appearance had many raving on social media. You know, I have to say, social media is definitely not helping these matters at all. In fact, it's just adding water into an already present grease fire, which metastasizes, and then the girls inevitably become engulfed in this war with each other, even though they never initially had any problems with each other to begin with. It's acrimonious and tiresome that these interactions always end in dissension. I'm also glad that someone mentioned that the timing of the music may have played a role in why the numbers are different from one another, and I thought that that was a very good point. But overall, my conclusion to this is that I don't believe colorism played a role in this. This was something that I observed take form from social media. Had this person never tweeted this, I don't think it would have been an issue, which is why I say we have to be careful just throwing colorism around loosely the way we have been lately, because it creates an adversarial environment in which circumstances that were not originally a part of the situation are now intertwined with that scenario because someone just decided they were going to throw this concept in there, and it's just not a good aesthetic for our community socially in the long run regarding the frequency in which that word is brought up. But let me know your thoughts on this situation. Do you guys think that this is an instance of Chloe having benefits for having a lighter skin complexion? Or do you think it's coincidental and people are just looking for a reason to keep Black women at war with each other? Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and I will see you all on the next one.